This kid's fire.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother,
Look at his comment, bro. Man down with no job complaining about someone being late. Yes, people, man. Welcome back, people. Welcome back to another stream. It's another episode of the Title Talk. I don't know why I'm here, but Dan Chelsea's not available today. Roms is here, but the reason why we're late, we're waiting for him. Fucking police just turned up at his gaff, so chill out, man. You know what I mean? That's the reason we're a bit late. So he's gonna be back in a second, man. But guys, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you are new. Bro, it's another loss for Manchester City. We are cooked. You guys won again, 3-0 against Monaco.
What happened, man? Talk to me. I didn't see the game, obviously, because I was at the Emirates. And my mate said to me, City are losing again. I went, really? Yeah. And then I said to
City are losing. See how he said that, guys?
Yeah, honestly. No, he did.
See how
He
he
said
said
City are
that?
losing
They're not even like surprised anymore. It's not like, oh, Potsy,
It weren't.
City are
Nah,
losing.
it
Just
weren't.
like,
And I
no,
went,
City are
really?
losing again.
And then he said to me, oh, it's 2-0 now. And I went, oh my God. That was it. That was literally it. No, everyone walked out of the stadium like, oh yeah, City lost 2-0. It weren't like, Disney City lost 2-0. Oh my God. It's like, you are so bad at the moment. People are literally just expecting it now. What has happened, man? I looked at the team. I don't think that's a bad team. Is it Bernardo? Is it this Bernardo and Gundogan pair or what?
Nah, it wasn't even that last night, bro.
What was it, man? Like some of those players are ballers, bro.
I don't even know what it is anymore, man. Like, bro, I'll be serious, yeah. Like, I can't even tell you last night because that team, right? Yeah, bro. I don't even know, bro. Like, I'll be real with you, yeah. I tell you our problem, right? Is yesterday outside of our penalty area and outside of their penalty area, we were decent, but in our penalty area and in their penalty area, we are awful. Like, legitimately shambolic. If the game is played in between the two penalty boxes, we're all right. But soon as we get asked to defend, we are shambles and we don't finish. Bro, we was actually, yeah, you've obviously not said you've not seen the game, yeah. First half, complete control of the game. Yeah, I don't even think Juventus had a single shot, bro. Like, we had completely controlled it. We had a huge chance to go 1-0 up. Kevin De Bruyne with an unbelievable pass to Erling Haaland. He's got to score. Keeper saves it, yeah, but he's got to score it, right? We scored that 1-0, different game, right? But we don't take our chance, which he definitely should have scored. And then in the second half, as always, our defenders just let us down. Yeah, Walker doesn't go and stop the cross. Gavadio, Rico, Lewis don't get to their header. Edison flops it in the net. So it's like, bro, it's just we've just got problems all over the pitch, bro. And like what City fans are saying is, and what I'm saying is, yeah, for us to win football matches now, bro, yeah, we've got to score 3 goals. Because we're probably going to concede 2 goals every single game we play. And you can't, bro, that is not good, you know. That is not good. I'm looking at our results, yeah. Juventus conceded 2. Palace conceded 2. We beat Forest, buzzing. Liverpool conceded 2. Feyenoord conceded 3. Tottenham conceded 4. Brighton conceded 2. Sporting conceded 4. Bournemouth conceded 2. Tottenham conceded 2. We have to score 3 goals a game to win football matches, and we're not scoring. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why we're not winning football matches, bro. Because our defense is trash, and we're not scoring enough goals. Simple.
But you know what's mad, bro? Right? I would say that Manchester City, with a manager of Pep Guardiola's quality, would have been like, "Look, lads, we're screwed at the back here. Let's just go. We'll score one more than you, football." But because you ain't scoring either, there must be something wrong with your transition as well as your defense, because you've got some quality up there, bro. Like, there's no excuses for Haaland, Foden, Grealish, Bernardo, Doku, Savio. I mean, when's this Savio going to score, by the way? Doku, like, he got on the score sheet the other day. Haven't seen much from him since. Again, like, come on, man. Some of these attackers have got to look at themselves as well, because you've got David De Bruyne's back now. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't understand what's happening here.
Well,
I understand.
De Bruyne's still our best player by a country mile. It's actually pretty sad how like he is literally our best player still at 33.
Your best player's out, bruv.
Well, yeah, Rodri's our best player, right? But like, he's obviously not here. Kevin De Bruyne is the only player that can actually properly create serious chances. I'm not trying to say that Haaland's had no chances when De Bruyne's been in the team. He has, but I'm talking like clear cut 1v1, like mint G&A style chances, yeah, XG chances, like Kevin De Bruyne, mate. And like the fact that if he's 33 getting on for 34 and half his body probably doesn't work because he's just injured all the time, and like none of these other players can step up and create serious opportunities is pretty sad, really. And I don't know, bro, like for me, bro, it all just comes back to transfer activity. You know what I mean? That's for me is the cause. And you know, we have just not kicked on since the treble year. You know, since that treble year, our transfers have been poor. We have not strengthened a single position. Some people would even argue that Gvardiol has not strengthened the starting 11. I don't know whether that's true. I think he's been a good signing, but like Laporte left, and Laporte was mega. You know, we've brought in Doku, Nunes, Savio, Gundogan, and we've let elite ballers leave, and then the other players that are still here are not as good as they were two years ago. So I think for me, like with anything in football, it's because of the transfers, it's because of the squad building, and it's just been poor. And the team out there right now is shot of confidence. You see it. Gundogan said it after the game. I completely agree with him. Pep doesn't, but I completely agree with Ilkay Gundogan. This team, unfortunately, is mentally fatigued, mentally shot. And soon as they concede a goal, you can see them just die inside. And they know that like another one is coming. And that's exactly what happened again yesterday. We conceded a first goal, shocking goal to concede. And then you just see the players, you just know, you can see it, the way they play, bro. Yeah. You can see the players almost just know that a goal is going to come, a second goal is going to come. And that's what happens. And yeah, mate, when you don't score goals and you concede in 2 goals a game, you're going to be in serious trouble. And that's the reason why we've won 1 game in 10, bro.
Thing is, like, what do you see light at the end of the tunnel here? Because, like, how long is this going to continue? I thought this would have stopped by now. I'm not saying you go to Juventus and it's a shocking loss, because Juventus are a big club, right? And they're a good side. But still, I thought there was going to be a side. I didn't expect you to drop points at Palace. I didn't actually expect you to lose last night. And there's games before that, and I'm thinking, I know you won against, I think you said it was Forest. But I'm like, this has gone on for quite some time now. That is like 1 win in what, like 8 or 9? Or is it 10? I don't even know what the hell it is.
1 win in 10.
Bro, I never saw that continuing, man. I never did. And I'm looking at it now thinking, what does Pep do? What does he change? Because some of the people in the chat are saying Kyle Walker was a disgrace, but we know Kyle Walker's been a disgrace for the last year or 2 because he's just not been good enough. But what do you do? Because Akanji and what's his name's out, aren't they? Ake.
Okay.
So you can't play either of them at left back to put Rico Lewis right back. Obviously, Guardiola, I guess, is playing in the middle with Rico in the middle at the moment. I don't know. You've got injuries at the back. So either play that Simpson Puzzi fella and then play, Rico at right and Gvardiol at left back. It's just a mess, man, at the back. But your midfield, bro, I understand what you do with that. Like, and this is what I mean. Like, I remember when the window shut and you were like, "Yeah, Liverpool and Arsenal aren't serious. We're gonna be fine." But you look at your window and it weren't great either. Do you know what I
No,
mean? You look at your window now and you think, actually, Gundogan
we
ain't the player
we
we thought he was
gambled
gonna
our
be.
whole year on Rodri.
Yeah, big time.
That's the truth. If Rodri was in this team now, we'd be chilling.
Yeah,
We'd be chilling. I'm absolutely convinced we'd be chilling. Right? We might have still lost a couple of games because our defensive injuries have been mad. But like, I think we'd be chilling. We'd probably be like 5 points behind Liverpool. We'd probably be like, I reckon we'd be up there around 10th, something like that in the Champions League, right? But they gambled our whole season on Rodri, and we just simply don't have the play. And it was just a massive refresh, man. You know, these players are too old. They ain't got the legs no more. We're making terrible, terrible mistakes at the back. And, now even Edison's making errors. You know what I mean? Now we're chopping and changing goalkeepers. You know, he's playing Ortega one week. Next week, Edison's in there. It really, really does stink of a team that is just in utter chaos. Because when you're chopping and changing your goalkeeper, can't remember the last time we played a back four twice in a run. That gets changed every time. You know what I mean? You've got Ilkay Gundogan in the middle who's, just watching him run back. There's someone tagged me in a clip of him yesterday trying to run back on a counter-attack, and it's just so sad to see, man. You're watching him and you're just like, bro, this guy's just not got the energy, man. He's not got the legs, you know what I mean? And we're asking him to sprint 60, 70 yards back to put a challenge in. It ain't going to happen, mate. So I think we just have to realise that this is where we're at. Hopefully we can buy some players in January and just get top four and just move on. But to be honest with you, bro, the way it's going at the moment, like I'm pretty worried about top four. But if we sign players in January, it should be fine. But as to where the next win comes from, there's a very big potential chance that we don't win a game in our next two. We've got United at the weekend, who will just sit back and just counter attack us. And then we got Villa, and I think we're going to get smacked off Villa. I think we might be able to beat United, if I'm being honest with you, yeah. Because like KD, they just sit there. They're not very good defensively. And I think KDB can create some chances. I think we might be able to get a result against United, right? But I think Villa, I genuinely think we're going to get fucking smacked off Villa. Do you know what I mean? They are such a pacey team. Yeah, I mean, they're good, solid defensively. They've got good. I know they've struggled in the last couple of months, but they've got pace in that midfield. They've got Ollie Watkins, pace. They've got pace all over the gaff. And I think we're going to get smacked off them. Get United done. Hopefully get a win there. We'll probably get smacked off of Villa. Then we've got Everton and Leicester, 2 games that we should be winning. You win those 2 games, January transfer window's open. Go and get me a player in the first 3 or 4 days of the January transfer window. And then yeah, we can see. But yeah, man, it's just not looking good. I think, for me, again, anyone who's thinking we can win the league for me is very, very positive. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But yeah, man, it's just peak out here for us, bro. We're just cooked.
It is, man. I'm looking at some of the players that you've let go over the last few seasons and looking at where the replacements are. Alvarez, you haven't replaced at all, in my opinion, unless you can tell me different. João Cancelo went, I think Gvardiol, excuse me, probably came in and tried to replace him. I thought João Cancelo was sick, man. I can't even lie.
Cancelo's a bit of a dodgy one because he obviously fucking done something in it bad to Pep.
Yeah, something's gone on with him and Pep. Like, I get that one. So for me, Gvardiol's come in, he's gone, like, it is what it is. Cole Palmer is just a joke now when you look at it. I mean, you said that at the time. Mahrez, I don't think you've replaced him anywhere near replacing him. I know Savio was supposed to come in and be that guy, but he's struggling to score goals. Laporte, you've mentioned. I think that's, a player that I thought was very consistent for you. If there are other people go that you can laugh at, like Calvin Phillips and all that, you're not really, going to be missing players like that, in my opinion. I know you haven't really got the cover for Rodri. And then after that, it's the Sterling, Jesus and Zinchenko's who, let's be real, you didn't miss because you won a treble without them, right? So I think some of those, you look at it and you think, actually, Man City haven't been exactly chucking players away, but the replacements that have come in just haven't been at the level. And I think the ones that stand out, Alvarez definitely, Mahrez definitely. You could argue Laporte, and if you really want to argue Cancelo, you can. But the others that were just going were like the Agueros going for retirement, other players like that. So I think for me, you've got to look now at how you replace and how you get it right January and the summer, because Man City can. Man City can still have a good season. Man City can still sort themselves out in January, and Man City can still rebuild in the summer. Like, you're a massive club. even if Pep's there or not there. Do you know what I mean? I'd still say Manchester City will be fine. So now it's about your recruitment, man. I'll be looking at your recruitment team. You got this Hugo Viana guy coming in now, and so I'll be looking at those sort of people now, saying you've got to help us here because we're in the shit. Because you are. Man City are in the shit, and you ain't been in the shit for years, mate. Yeah, you haven't been in the shit since his takeover. Let's be real. Do you know what I mean? Properly. And I know that you're still floating around the Champions League and it's not a disaster, but the way you're playing, if that continues, I'm worried where you go as well. And I think that Pep Guardiola needs to look at it now and try and change something up. I mean, I know there's not much he can do with the squad, but something's got to change, man. You can't keep doing the same thing because it ain't working, is it? Do you know what I mean? So you got to look to that and try and change a formation change. Try and bring one of the couple of youngsters in. Like we've seen when Waneri and Lewis Skelly have come in, they've actually given us a little bit of energy that we've needed. He was quality last night, Lewis Skelly. You know what I mean? So you look at these youngsters that are coming through at City. They've got so many over the years that you look at. I mean, I was just looking at your players that you've let go. I didn't even know some of them were at your club. Like I didn't actually know that some of the people in the Premier League now literally would all be doing a job at Man City right now.
We did a stream a couple of weeks ago, yeah, and we went through a starting 11 of players that have come through our academy. It'd probably challenge for the league.
It's insane.
No cap. It'd probably challenge for the league, bro. Like it's actually unreal, man. Like in the sense that like we have made a big mistake there. And at the time when we were winning and stuff, the problem is that was all well and good at the time because what we was investing was buying mint players. So you know, you sell all these academy players, and yeah, they might go on to do good things, but when you buy Haaland, no one's really moaning. Yeah, when you buy fucking the Rodris of this world, the Gavardiols, the fucking these type of guys, yeah, everyone's chilling. Everyone's like, yeah, we shouldn't really sell them, but you know, we're winning, so it's chilling. Soon as you stop investing in the team and the squad and stop improving, yeah, and you start buying players like fucking Nunes and Doku and Savios and these type of guys who are not improving the squad for the here and now, yeah, that's when people start asking questions. Do you know what I mean? That's when people start asking questions. That's the problem. No one would have cared, right, about selling, I don't know, Lavia if we would have bought Bruno G in the summer. No one would be sitting there saying, we should never have let Lavia go. Well, that was a terrible if we would have got Bruno G, right? Or Caicedo or someone like that. Because why would you? It's just stupid, right? The reason why people keep on bringing up the fact that we let Cole Palmer go is because we have Jack Grealish who's not scored a goal in a year, and you've got Savio who's here who's still not scored a goal, and since he started the season. And then you've got Doku who chips in. None of them wingers are as good as Palmer in terms of that G&A aspect. It's all about who you bring in. People are moaning about the fact that we've let these academy players go because they're better than the players that we have. That's the truth. What does that tell us? That tells us that the players you're buying are not good enough. Do you know what I mean? We need to start buying better players. You know, we've been buying the likes of Doku, Savios, Nunes, and Phillips. They're not good enough. Would these guys? I always say to myself now, right? When we're buying a player, would Real Madrid be interested in the player? And if they're not interested in the player, why are we interested in the player? Because that's the team that apparently we're competing with. Over the last couple of years, yeah, we've been saying, oh, City and Real Madrid are the two best teams in the world. All right, and so if we're the two best teams in the world, if this is the player we're buying, would Real Madrid be interested in that player? And if the answer is nah, then why are we buying him? If the answer is yeah, they might be interested, yeah, no problem. I'm not saying would Real Madrid 100% buy this player. I'm just saying would they be interested in the player? And if the answer to us no, like why are we buying these players? You know what I mean? So would Real Madrid buy Nunes? What the hell, man? Do you know what I mean? No
What's
chance.
mad is, right, there's players that I've looked at just there that I didn't even know. I never even knew Harwood Bellis was your boy, the Southampton lad who's just got
he was
called up from England. He's your player. I'm not saying he'd start every game for City, but right now he'd probably play alongside. So you could put Rico Lewis at right back. You've obviously got the midfield issue. Lavia would walk in right now. Like, let's just be real. He would. He's a baller, mate. Palmer, I mean, I'm running out of superlatives for the kid, if I'm honest. He's absolutely phenomenal player. People might laugh at this. Liam Delap would be in your squad right now because he's a cover for Haaland. Like, it's actually crazy, isn't it? Like, you look at Pedro Porro. I didn't know he was at Man City until Tottenham bought him back, and I really thought, who's this guy? Next minute, he's like, oh my God, he's the guy. The fullback you sold to Dortmund, who's apparently done well. Like, these players you've let go.
Yeah, Couto, yeah.
Couto, that's his. Morgan Rogers, another one. What the hell is going on here, man? This is mad, bro. Like, you actually have got 4 or 5 that would easily be in your squad right now, and you'd have an unbelievable team. So Yeah, it's not just about who you've brought in; it's who you've let go. Well, it is about who you brought in because it's fine letting those players go. You've got to replace them. I said this when we sold Smith Rowe, when we sold Nelson, Eddie, all these youngsters that we had, right? Nowhere near the levels of the players you've had. But I said, and they were like, do you think you should have sold them? I'm like, I'm cool with selling them. We ain't replaced them. We
Mhm.
haven't replaced Smith Rowe. We haven't even replaced Eddie. I know it sounds mad. He was awful and I want him gone. But we let him go. We didn't actually buy anybody. We didn't put any
Mhm.
replacement. Nelson's gone.
It's
Is
the
he better than
same, bro.
Sterling?
That's exactly the same as me, bro. Like with the Alvarez thing, right? So Alvarez, I was chill selling him. Yeah, I'll tell you why I was chill selling him because the guy wanted to leave, and we got 85 mil, right? What I wasn't chill was not replacing him. So that's the thing with Alvarez. It's like, bro, if we wasn't going to, why did we sell him if we weren't going to replace the guy, man? Like, go buy somebody. Do you know what I mean? It's all about having a player in that team that can do a job. Alvarez last year, yeah, for us, right? Most City fans last year didn't even like the guy that much last year, right? Because he was like playing in midfield. He was very clunky. He was a very clunky player in midfield. He was like,
Yeah,
you could tell he wasn't a midfielder. But the guy put up numbers, he got goals, he got assists, and he just chipped in. And then when Haaland needed a rest, he just put him up top, right? He was not
yeah,
a player last year that City fans looked at and went, yeah, mint season. But he was a player that just sort of got the job done. And granted, there was some bad games there from Alvarez, but there 100% was. But he just he just helped us a little bit, you know what I mean? And now we have no one in there. And I tell you what, we would have in this period where Foden's been poor and KDB's been out injured, we would have, bro. The fact that we could have had Alvarez in there, we would have won more. We would have won at least, I reckon, 2 or 3 of the games out of this 10-game period if Alvarez was in this team. 100%, because he would have chipped in with some goals. You know, how many games have we drawn? Feyenoord, you know what I mean? Palace, these type of games, yeah, that we've drawn. If we had Alvarez, I think we would have won a couple of these games, man, because he would have chipped in with a few more goals. So the fact that we sold him and then didn't replace him is wild. And this is why I always say when it comes down to the money and you're selling players, right? It's like, bro, don't get gassed on these cash thing, man, because like unless the club actually buys players, it's irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? It's like with the Palmer thing. Oh yeah, we got 40 million. Whoop-de-doo. We didn't buy anyone better than Palmer. We've actually got players that are worse than Palmer. Alvarez, we sold him for
Did you have
85
anyone at
million.
the time that was actually on his level though? Like, do you know one
Who?
like you sold Palmer? Did you think like, oh, I can understand why we're letting him go because we've got X, Y, and
Not
Z?
not not in the season. No, no, no. If he would have gone the season before, yeah, but the season he went, Mahrez left. Yeah, Mahrez left, so he'd gone. All the Foden talk was Foden's now a midfielder, not a right winger anymore. So it was like, well, Foden's not going to play right, which has been true. Foden's hardly played right wing since the treble year. So no, that was just a terrible, terrible decision. It really, really was. And Bernardo Silva, you know what I mean? He was basically going to play right wing on his own because we didn't really have anyone else. We bought Doku, but Doku has not played right wing that much. He's come in as a left winger. So that was just a bad piece of business, man, and that'll haunt us to the day he retires. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, because he's now like one of the best players in the world, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I mean
crazy.
that is actually true, and he's so he can play in the middle. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know, man. Like, we just got to accept that the way we've ran the club over the last 2 years since the treble has been probably a disaster, if we're being honest with you. Like, we've done all the wrong things. We've sold players like fucking Palmer that we should never have sold. We bought players like Doku and Nunes, who should we really have bought them in? Should we bought Savio, Doku, and Nunes? I don't know. And it's just peak out here, and where we go from here, I don't
How
know, man.
much were them 3 players, man?
So Nunes was 50, Doku was 50, and Savio was 25.
Like Savio, fair
And
play
Phillips
because
was 42, I think.
these players, man, like look at some of the ballers you could have got for that around that time. I'm not going to go and search it; it'd take too long. But you look at what the players around that are going forward in that position now. You could have done so much better with that. But look, it's easy in hindsight, innit? You don't know what they were going to do at the time. You know, like Doku was obviously looking good and looking exciting when you bought him. Nunez was doing bits with Wolves, and yeah, fair play, but they ain't worked, man. They ain't worked out at all. And you know, it ain't been easy on you with injuries. I get that. Like, injuries are part of the game, but when you get that many, like we've had in the same position, it does get tough. Like even Oscar Bob, you know, I thought was going to be his breakthrough season. He did his leg in, didn't he, or whatever. So you've got players now that you look at, but Manchester City have just got to go into January and just go splash, splash, splash. None of this like, oh yeah, we'll try and get one player in. I think Man City have got to go and get 2 or 3. Like, I don't know what you're
I
like at
agree.
FFP or whatever, but I think you got to go and say,
Nah,
right,
we should be
Bruno's-
chilling, man. We should be chilling on it, bro. We've made the second highest profit in
Yeah,
terms
there
of
you go.
player sales out of any football club in the world in the last 6 years.
I'll
We
go
have
and
the
get
money, man.
two midfielders and an attacker then. You know what I mean? That's
Mm,
what I'd go and get because you need it.
yeah. Nah, 100%. Guys, smash these likes up if you've not done so already, guys. Come on, man. Get the likes up. Make sure you guys are sub to the channel as well if you're new. Yeah, Lord. I mean, I
Are you
don't know.
accepting about this top 8 then? You're not going to get a top 8 in the Champions League now? You done with that?
Top 8?
Yeah, that's what I
Are
mean.
you
How many
having a
points
laugh?
do you now? How
Bro,
many
we
points?
ain't getting fucking top 8, man. What are you talking about, top 8?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Bro, we're
Because I didn't know how
22nd.
confident. Yeah, I didn't know how confident you guys were on that now. You know what some City fans are
Nah,
like.
bro,
We'll
there
be
ain't
all
no
right.
one
We'll be all
City
right.
fan out here that's saying we're getting top 8, mate. There you getting top 8. We're 22nd, bro. I mean, the fact that that if we finish in the top 24, that's a W at this moment in time, man.
You
Do
think you
know what
might
I mean?
drop out? You think you might drop out of it completely?
We need to win. Basically, yeah, my mate sent me a thing last night and basically said, unless we lose both games, we're probably going to be fine.
Who have you got in your last 2?
One sec, let me find this fucking message that he sent me last night. We got PSG away and Bruges at home. So this is what he said, right? So basically, yeah, even if we lose to PSG, as long as we beat Bruges at home, we should be through. We'd be on 11 points. Now, the team currently between 36th in the table and 27th can't reach 11 points mathematically. So they're dusted, yeah? Teams between 26th and 25th, they play each other in the final game, meaning someone's going to lose points. The team currently in 24th has to play Arsenal and AC Milan in the final 2 games, and the team in 23rd still has to play Liverpool. So effectively, if we win one game against either PSG or Bruges, we're probably going to be through. So we just need to win one game.
Bro,
And
you'll win
even
one
a
game.
draw might
Yes, bro.
reach you. Yeah,
I can't believe we're in this position, man. I really thought City would be like for me, Man City. I thought there was an opportunity for all 4 of the English clubs to get in this top 8, and like Liverpool and Arsenal in the top 3 in the league and the Champions League. Villa are in there at the moment, I think, as well in the top 8, and Man City are the ones. And I'm like, what? It's normally us. I thought it'd be us or Villa, if I'm honest, because European wise, Villa are just in there, and Arsenal have been crap in Europe since I've been alive. So when I look at it, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe there's an opportunity for one of us. But I was like, come on, because I want all 4 teams to go through in it, because that's what we got to be looking at is England. Otherwise, you start losing places in your division, don't you? Do you know what I mean? If your whole country's crap with it, so you want all of them to start doing well. But I look at it now and I think, wow, Man City, if they were to drop out, that would be unbelievable. Like, I just can't see it. PSG are crap, by the way. They're absolutely awful. Like, we beat them comfortably. I know we were at home, but it was comfortable. They are rubbish. And then you've obviously Bruges. I mean, come on, like you're gonna beat them, man. You're gonna beat them.
They're going to beat Aston Villa, bro.
You'll go through, man. You'll go through. But look, I don't know, man. The way at the moment Man City are moving, you can't. There's just no consistency whatsoever. I've no idea what I'm going to get. So it would be an unbelievable story if you went out of that, because I don't think you're going to win the league. If you go out of the Champions League, you're already out the Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
that means you just got the FA Cup to play for. Can you imagine? That's absolutely mad. Absolutely mad. So,
do you know what's crazy? I remember when about 2 or 3 games were played, and we were all kind of saying, yeah, what big European team will miss out? Because Arsenal, Villa, City, and Liverpool, we're kind of on all bankers to go through.
Yeah.
It's great. I remember we were speaking about this about a month ago, and it's crazy to just think. I don't know what's going on with City. I think now, like, you can't really even say it's bad form. Like, there is literally more underlying problems with this team, because 1 in 10, I was saying to LB off air, if it was maybe 5 in 10 or 4 in 10, it's like, you know what, still bad form, but there's still a sample size of wins in there. But 1 in 10 pots, it's crazy. It's unheard of. I actually will go as far as to say, right, if City do like get eliminated completely and not even make the playoffs, this might be the worst return of an English champion. I think that surpasses anything United have done. It might be the most embarrassing return of any champions of this country. It's crazy. And like you said, PSG are bad, but like they have to win their next 2 as well. I don't even think they're in the playoff spot. So they might have just
the 25th, bro. The 25th.
Yes, so they're out of it. And I think when you've got two teams that aren't that good, you then look at other things at home advantage, because we're saying PSG aren't good, but City aren't as well right now. So it's like, it's a very interesting game. Very interesting. But it's crazy.
Two
I never
giants,
saw
mate.
this coming. I never saw this coming at all. 1 in 10 is crazy. And I was saying to LB backstage pots, even this weekend is very weird because you've got a United team that's not great. But even if City were great or United were great, form goes out the window with a derby. So even this weekend's another
Brother,
headache for City.
they lose to Man United. The Lord have mercy. That is absolutely wild.
Bro, I swear
If
to
you
God,
lose-
man, if a lot of the City fan base, I think, has actually been quite calm through this whole period. Like, obviously, we've had our little rants and our little fucking little spats at players and that, yeah. But for the whole, we sort of just accepted it. But if you lose against Man United at the weekend, who are fucking shit, in a Manchester derby at home, I think a lot of City fans will start fucking piping up then, saying, "What the fuck is going on?" Do you get me? Because it's like, bro, you can't do that, man. You know what I mean? Not against a United team that is currently 13th or something in the Premier League. They're the 13th, bro. Like, you can't lose against a team that's 13th, mate. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and we're at home.
problem is you can, man, in a derby. You never know. This form goes out the window. It's all over the place. We've seen it before, haven't we? I mean, this Community Shield curse, by the way, someone said in the chat, is real.
I see it, yeah.
Honestly, every time we've won that damn thing, we've done nothing. Now City are finding out when you win it. It ain't great.
When we won it, we finished 5th the next season. It's crazy.
It's the curse of the shield, man. Nobody wants that plate. That's why I never celebrate it. I think me and Gunners call it the bloody glorified soccer aid game, because that's what it is. I honestly, every time you win it, you don't bloody win it. I don't actually know how many teams have won that and then gone on to win the league. I'd love to know, but
I'm
yeah,
not sure myself.
Yeah, it is a madness, that curse, mate. It's actually crazy.
It is a
It's
curse,
actually
man.
crazy.
Look, Z thinks they're going to Man United. They're going to win 4-0.
The thing is, bro, I have no chest to rebuttal that, innit?
I love Z. Z is such a
Spurs beat us 4-0. Sporting Lisbon scored 4 goals against us. Like, bro, I've just got to wait for the players to fucking put a performance in. Like, what I want to see from my team, yeah, the bare minimum, right? I want to see us make some fucking tackles at the weekend. I want to see us getting stuck into these players, man. You know what I mean? Because Gundogan, the way he tackles at the moment, he's starting to piss me off a little bit. I can't lie. Like, the way he just dangles a leg in a fucking... Get stuck in, man. You know what I mean? Like, Kovacic is back. He gets stuck in, which is decent. So, you know, that'll be better. I think Kovacic is a player that we've actually low-key missed a little bit, to be honest with you, in this period. Like, because he's a decent player. He's better than Gundogan right now. Yeah, so, I don't know, man. But we're just cooked, boys. We are just cooked.
Would you say, LB, yeah? I know after the Forest win, a lot of City fans are like, cool, this can kickstart something for us, or maybe a decent run of form. But do you believe if you get the win over United this weekend, listen, there's no guarantees in football, but this should be the game. Both in pretty much bad form. Manchester derby at home. This should be the game to go on and kickstart. I know we said about Forest, but it's a different magnitude of game. This is your next door neighbours. So do you think this would be the game where you might start to see a run? I think then after that game, you've got, 10, 15 days to the transfer window.
No.
Then you're probably not sure.
No, because we ain't beating Aston Villa.
Oh, yeah, you've got them the week after,
Well, we've got Aston Villa away the next week at 12:30. We are not beating Aston Villa. No chance. Not with the pace they have in that team, man. Yeah? Is Rodgers fit?
I forgot.
I'll tell you now, yeah, if Rodgers is fit, yeah, stonks on that guy that day, he will rip us apart. I promise you. The way he just runs through the midfield, yeah, and carries the ball with pace, power, it's literally the worst possible type of player that we could play against. So we could beat United, and that'll be nice. You know what I mean? But there's no way at this moment in time that Aston Villa will not beat us the way they play, the type of way they play, and that.
And do you know what, LB? Rodgers loves a big team, because even though we beat them 2-0 at home, he was still giving our midfield a bit of a headache. I remember when Arsenal went there, Pots, and even though you beat them 2-0, he was giving Partey the run around. And Partey's been, other than Saka, probably your best. You'd probably say your best performer.
Yeah, he has been our best player, in my opinion. Mate, Rodgers was unreal that day. I was thinking, Like he was looking, you know, when Bellingham like was being touted as like going to Real Madrid, he looked like that. He was just like by far levels ahead of everyone. That's how he reminds me of Bellingham, by the way. That Rogers when he's on song,
The way
like,
he could, yeah,
yeah,
I know
it
what you
really
mean.
does. It really does, man. But yeah, man, that's another one, LB, to add to your players you shouldn't have let go.
I
Yeah,
know.
you let go.
No. The thing is, as
Apparently,
well,
he's
that guy
crap though,
just.
right? When he was young with you, he
When,
wasn't
when
that
I
good.
watched
Was he?
him in the academy, bro, I never seen this, bro. I never seen this sort of like this ability, mate. It's like he wasn't one that I look at and say obvious mistake. Do you know what I mean? It's the Palmers and that you look at and say, what the hell are we doing here? You know what I mean? But yeah, he's another one that's come
All
from
I
our
will say
academy.
quick, right, about Man United was when they set up against us at the Emirates, I was like, wow, they actually look like they have more of an idea now. Like Amarim can actually set them up, and it was hard to break down, man. So obviously we had to use set piece FC to beat them. But yeah, Man City might have to find a way because they actually can actually set up and hold out. If they play like they did against Forest, you'll be fine.
That's what I was gonna say. It depends. It just depends the amount. This sounds mad even saying it, but it depends how much respect they have left for City. Because like
Yeah.
you said, Potts, if they still see City as a great team, which let's be honest, they are. I know they're in bad form, but they still have players that can turn the game right. If they respect City as still being a top team, I think it'll be a tough game for City because again they'll be a bit more pragmatic. They've got more of a structure. But if they're disrespecting City and think let's treat them like Forest, let's just go for them and go gung ho, right? That's when I think it could be end to end, and City they still have the quality to pop them off the park, in my opinion. But that's your spot on, Potts. It depends how much they respect City.
Yeah, it's a madness. It's a madness. Smash these likes up, guys. You're not done so already. All right, then, boys. Let's speak about who else should we speak about? Should we speak about Arsenal? Arsenal with a nice little win last night. Saka again on the score sheet. That guy's just getting output at the moment. What are you saying, Potsy, about where's your season going at the moment? Because obviously, league-wise, it's not looking too healthy, but you're clearly still in a race. You're third in the Champions League, so very, very decent there. I mean, surely you've got to be slightly optimistic of a trophy somehow.
Well, we got to win a trophy, bruv. We got to win a trophy. And if you look at how we are in each of those 4 trophies that we're in, we're actually in a fairly good position. FA Cup, we've got United, which is probably the trickiest game that we're going to have for a while. You don't know what United will be like by the time we play them as well under Amarim. It is at home, of course. And then, of course, you've got the Crystal Palace game at home in the Carabao Cup. I'd like to think that we can get past them. Then we're in a semi-final. Other than Liverpool, I fancy us to beat the other teams. I do fancy us to beat United, Spurs, or Newcastle. I think Brentford and Southampton are still in it, but I expect Liverpool to beat Southampton. And then you look in the Champions League. At the moment, it's healthy. You know, me and Roms are looking good. We just got to beat our last 2 games are Zagreb at home and Girona away, which I was going to speak to Roms about because obviously that's what he's just done, delivered. And it didn't look that easy, to be fair. So we'll see how it is. But look, we're in a position at the moment where I can actually look at us and say fair play for winning a trophy. The way we're playing, I ain't got any consistency in the play. My problem is at the moment, right, LB, I don't know that I have 100% faith that Arsenal can go on like a 10, 15 game run. That's my big problem because we keep slipping up. We keep having these little cluster of results. And we've done this for years under Mikel Arteta. The back end of last season, it was phenomenal. From January to the end, we lost against Villa. That was it. Yeah. We dropped 1 game. The only other game that we drew was against you boys. We won every single other game. And we kind of need to do that from this point onwards now. That's going to be very hard. We've basically got to replicate what we did last season in the league, but from Christmas onwards, or from now onwards, before Christmas onwards.
What's your best
That's
chance of
gonna
a
be very
trophy
hard.
then, bro? What's your best chance of a trophy then this season?
People will laugh, but the Carabao Cup. But
Who you got in the
people will
Carabao
laugh.
Cup, man?
We got Palace in the semi-finals. Sorry, we got Palace next at home. Then we got the semi-finals, and the teams left in it are Man United or Tottenham. One of them's going through. Liverpool or Southampton, which will be Liverpool, and Brentford and Newcastle, which I think will be a flip of a
That's
There's
coin.
some decent sides in there, though, isn't it?
There are decent sides.
Liverpool, Newcastle on the day can be decent. I know they're struggling at the moment, but they can be decent on the day.
I said this.
I would say we've got more chance in the Carabao Cup than the FA Cup, just because of where we're at in those. We've only got a few. We got to win 4 games in the Carabao Cup. We won it. Do you know what I mean? You might not even have to win 4. You might be able to win 3 of them. Do you know what I mean? So because it's semi-finals, 2 legs, isn't it? So that's what I will say. Champions League, I'm just never confident because European heritage is poor. The Premier League, I think Liverpool and Chelsea both look better than Arsenal at the moment. And the FA Cup, I mean, it is our trophy, but if we take it real and take it fair, then maybe we've got a chance. But I think domestic cup's probably our most realistic chance, yeah.
Do you know what, Potts? That big up Jamie Phillips. I see what he said in the chat as well. I agree. I think it has Liverpool or Arsenal written on it because me personally, I think Liverpool and Arsenal both go through. I don't know what happened in Spurs versus United. Again, that's another weird game. And I think it's Newcastle Brentford. But I think Liverpool or Arsenal win the Carabao. If we meet each other in the semis, then for me, the winner is in that semi-final. And if we meet each other in the final, I always back my team. Thing is, it's mad. We call it at Anfield, South, right? But they also have a good record at Wembley as well. So I think both clubs will back each other to win this trophy. But I'll still back us to win. If we get to the final, I reckon we won the Carabao. Arsenal will be quite tough. But just echoing what Pot said, I think he's spot on. Europe, you'll never back Arsenal, to be fair, especially away from home. And the Emirates,
the way you said that, bro, is funny, man.
You can't, LB. Like, do you know what? I'll
back them in Europe, to be fair.
I'll give to Arsenal, right? At Emirates, I think they can beat anyone on their day in Europe. For me, Arsenal are just the type of team to lose a tie away from home in Europe. That's why I don't have confidence in them. So just going off Potts said, I think in Europe, you don't ever back them. I was just saying in your absence, Potts, I think Liverpool, Arsenal, if we meet in the semi-final, then the winner is in our semi-final. And if we both meet in the final, we call it Anfield South, but you've also got a good record at Wembley. So both of us will probably back each other, back our clubs to win in the final. But Premier League, I think it's ours to lose. I do think we win it now. I genuinely think we go on to win the Prem. And I will say first, if we don't, for me, it is a bottle. Some people might say, oh, how can you say it this early? But I think the players we have at our disposal, I just think we need to take the reins. I think we've got a healthy kind of lead in the race as well. But Potts, one thing I'll say, I think it's both domestic cups you should back yourself because FA Cup is your trophy. I never write off. I just said to you, I write Arsenal out of Europe. FA Cup, I'd never do it. And I think you'll beat United. If it was Old Trafford, it's a bit more tricky. But then I swear last time you played them at Old Trafford, I think, was it Oxlade Chain? I think you beat them. You went to them.
Danny Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck, sorry. So, when it comes to FA Cup, home or away, it doesn't matter for Arsenal. You normally do your thing. So
we did lose to United at the Emirates in the FA Cup. I think it was about 5 years ago. I'm sure it was the FA Cup. But other than that, we've been pretty good in that competition. Obviously, we've got 14 of them to our name. So domestically, I'm there. But I'm with you, Roms. I heard you say you'd never back Arsenal in Europe. No, would I, bro? Like, I know LB was laughing, but I wouldn't, man. Like the facts say it, we don't do well in Europe. We just don't, and it doesn't even have to be the Champions League. The Europa League, we were a disaster in, to be fair, and we were one of the better teams. I think we were favourites in it a couple of the times that we were in it. So I look at it and think it ain't gonna happen, man. So look, Champions League this season, it does look a little bit different. This new format is a bit all over the place with teams at the moment. Like I didn't know how it was gonna pan out, and it looks as if this new format has definitely not been good for teams like Real Madrid. I'm seeing Bayern Munich still need a couple of wins. Man City, we've spoken about. There's only really the teams in that top 8 at the moment: Inter Milan, Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal. Were kind of expected or hoped that Arsenal would anyway be in that top 8. Some of the others like Brest are in there, and some of these other teams, I'm like, whoa! I didn't expect this right 6 games in. Do you know what I mean? I thought maybe with the first couple be all over the place, but 6 games in, it's mad. But I look into the Champions League right now. Other than Liverpool and Inter Milan, I'd be quite happy to get any of them. I know it sounds mad, but I don't think I'd be like, oh, no chance. Arsenal are out. Even against Inter Milan and Liverpool, I still wouldn't go, oh, wow, we're out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's many a time I would have been like in the Champions League a few years ago thinking, oh, not Real Madrid, please. Oh, not Barcelona, please, under Pep. Oh, not there. Do you know what I mean? But now I look and I just think it's more of a flip of a coin in these games. And I think you said it, LB, on one of our shows or on here. You don't have to be the best to win the Champions League. Like, you really don't. Like, when you won it, Roms, in 2005, you've got 2012, was it Chelsea? Then Matteo.
Both of Chelsea's wins.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah. Even Tuchel.
You need to be defensively solid and take your moments when you get your chances. That's it. Done. So
we ain't got any of that at the moment. We ain't defensively solid.
And we ain't taking our chances. As much as I said I don't back you in Europe, and I still don't think you win it. But Champions League's kind of tailored for how Arteta's playing, because
I
if
agree.
you can get away with a 1-0 win away from home and just shut up shop and then bring them back to the Emirates, because I truly believe you can beat most teams at Emirates. It's a tough place to go to, and I think last season it was the inverse. You were better away from home than at home. This season it's flipped on its head. Most of your dodgy results are coming away from home. But I think you're still I think you're the only team unbeaten at home in the league left. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you've lost in the
No,
league.
we ain't lost at
Emirates.
the league.
I think in all comps you've not lost. So this is what I mean. I think Arsenal fancy themselves, but I echo your thoughts, Potts. For me, I only fit Inter, but that's because of the heritage I have. I've got the right to say that. But I look at Barca, very good going forward. Rafinha, by the way, is up there with Salah. He's off the hook at the moment. But defensively, they're conceding so much. I think they drew at the weekend, conceded 2 to Dortmund. So I only really look at Inter as... Actually, I'm not going to write off Real Madrid. I know people can say Real Madrid are bad, but me and LB have experienced this in past seasons. They can turn it on no matter what form they're in. They can just
they've got the moments thing to it.
Literally. And especially if the second leg is at their place. I can now say this because we beat them this season. If we get Madrid and second legs at Anfield, I'd back us to knock them out. Just how we're playing, how they're playing. But if you've got to go their ground,
you never want to get them, man.
That fear factor, man. But
you never want to get them in this competition. Like, they're the last team I would pick to be drawn against Real Madrid, because they're just goats of it, right? But look, last night, quickly, just to give a couple of seconds on last night's performance, because I want to big up Miles Lewis-Skelly, because he got the nod at left back and he was absolutely brilliant. He only got about 60 to 65 minutes. They brought him off, and I was a bit surprised as to why they did that. A lot of people were expecting to see Kieran Tierney. Obviously, Lewis-Skelly got the nod because Partey and Timber actually were fit, and Arteta was doing the dark arts again, mind games. But I thought he was phenomenal, this kid. And our left-hand side has been a mess for about 18 months, maybe longer. And Marino and Lewis-Skelly, both being left-footed, give us so much more opportunity and fluidity down that left. And we had, against Fulham, we had a right footer in every single part of that left-hand side. I know that shouldn't matter because you get paid enough a week to be quality at football, but for fluidity and purposes, it really did.
Balance ain't there.
Yeah. It really did us no good, man. So Marino, he was actually all right last night. Martinelli, I still need to see these guys score. And that was my problem. In the first half, I don't know if you saw the games or the highlights, we missed literally everything. We went through. Like, Jesus went through and missed 2 one-on-ones.
Don't talk to me about you need Martinelli to score when I've got Grealish that hasn't scored a goal in a year and Savio that's still not scored a goal this season. Please.
But we ain't far off with those numbers, bro. Like, I'm not even lying. Jesus hasn't scored for 31 games now, I think it is. Or I think when he did score, it was against Preston in the Carabao Cup. Like, this guy is awful.
Yeah, but Martinelli's still got 4 goals this year in this season.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. I mean, Martinelli, I've been frustrated with, but he is actually scoring at times. But look, there were chances. Ødegaard went through, unbelievable bit of skill to put himself through, and he missed the whole target. That was poor. Jesus missed 2 sitters. Martinelli rolled it into his hands and got a missed one. But do you know what was really impressive was our left-hand side looked better. Saka, just never doubt this kid, man. Trust me. You'd be foolish if you doubt this kid. You know, I know me and Don have been back and forth before about Saka and he's overrated and he ain't actually that good and all that, and I'm just ignoring it now. Like, this guy keeps proving people wrong every season. That's 4 seasons now. This guy's put GNA out in every single game, and sometimes don't even play that well, but he scores and he assists. And that's the difference with this kid, man. He's absolutely sick.
Oh, the guy's mega, man. The guy that puts out numbers for days. He's turning into a Salah-style player where you can just almost every game he's getting some sort of goal involvement, whether it be a goal and an assist. And, you know, people can talk about like aesthetics or whatever, but it all goes out the window when you're getting a goal involvement pretty much every match. You know what I mean? And yeah, he just keeps on putting out the numbers. You know, I still think you need to get like a proper right winger cover so you can like rest him a little bit, because he will otherwise be done by the time he's 25, 26, because that's how it'll go. But the guy's just putting out mad numbers, and I'd do anything to take someone like Saka at my club right now. Like, I just would.
Yeah, it's mad. He is unbelievable, this kid. And I think sometimes people have disrespected him. Maybe it's because there's a certain section of our fan base that do potentially overhype him and start putting him in Mbappe levels and Messi levels and all that. We need to calm down with that. But you look at how good the kid is, man. He's just delivering year in, year out. And he's one of the ones at the moment that you look at and can't say that he has been one of the reasons why Arsenal are where they are. They are literally in the best position because of Bukayo Saka. And people sometimes look at it the other way and think, they need more than Bukayo Saka. I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. I think we do rely on him far too much for a kid who's 23 years old. For the last 4 or 5 years, he's pulled Arsenal out the mud. And in fact, he's carried Arsenal a couple of times where at the age of like 19, 20, which should not be happening. But man, this guy is just absolutely...
Well, I'll tell you what, Goonie, if he's already got 11 goals in 2025, considering we're in 2024, that's not bad. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad, it's not a bad record. 11 goals, and we're a month off the year. So
I just closed
crazy. He's got. I think he's got 8 Champions League goals now as well. That's got to be looked at because Hazard got 11 Champions League goals for Chelsea in the same amount of time. So you look at what he's done, and he's only been back in the Champions League last season and this season. The kid is phenomenal, man. Like he's because people always say, didn't they? LB, let's see what he does in the Champions League. Let's see what he does in the Champions League.
Which was fair.
Well, now he's delivering in the Champions League.
Which was fair at the time to say that. You know what I mean? Because that for me is when you become like.
But no one's saying it now. That's what I'm getting at.
No one's saying it now because he's doing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what
I'm getting at? They should be saying it. They should be going, oh, fair play.
Do you know what I would say? Because I'll be honest, Potter. I was one of them people, and I've said you have to give credit where it's due. I was questioning, can he look? He's done it in the Prem. Can he do it in the Champions League? He's blown the Champions League out of water. But a narrative I hate, and I'm seeing it in the chat right now. Saka only scores penalties. Palmer only scores penalties. Salah got it for a bit a couple of years ago. Only scores penalties. Even Bruno Fernandes, which I don't particularly rate, only scores penalties. Do people understand you can miss penalties? You still have to hit the back of the net. We've seen players miss penalties. So when people say, yes, your probability of scoring is high, of course, you're only a couple yards out from the goal, but you can still miss them. For me, it's a skill in itself to score a penalty. Like, look, I'll name one of the greats. I wasn't old enough to watch him, but my dad always tells me about him. Matt Letizia missing one penalty in his whole career. That's a skill in itself. You can still miss
he was one of the most underappreciated players ever.
Yeah. My old man always bangs on about him to me. Always.
I don't understand how he don't get mentions. That guy could do anything, man. He was so good. But if you're saying, if there's people that chat, oh, penalties. All right, so Andy Cole's the best ever Premier League striker ever then. Because he got 187 goals and never took a penalty. Never scored one. So he's
no. The thing is, you can be balanced.
Matter.
Yeah, they do matter, but you can still be balanced about it. Like at the end of the day, like if you score 30 goals a season, but 20 of them are penalties, right? And you got another striker who scores 25 goals a season, but none of them are penalties. Then obviously the more credit's got. But obviously at the same time, you can't take away.
Judge scored penalties. This is what I don't get. And it's like, okay, so Palmer only scores penalties. Like, Palmer only takes penalties. He's rubbish, really. Like, come on, man. They don't do it with Palmer, do they? They do it with Saka now. Like, I don't understand it. The guy is delivering. I think we just need to deserve to give him credit. I think he gets disrespected. And I do get why some of the rival fans want to tell the Arsenal fans to calm down because they do make him out that this guy's going to be the next coming to Messi. But let's be real. The guy's a baller. Yeah, let's just be real. And last night he was great again. Havertz coming on and doing his business, to be fair. I actually quite like this. Is why I want to see a striker at Arsenal so that we could use Havertz in that way because I think he could be a good impact sub. Trossard as well was good. And let's be real, that's what he is. Trossard, in my opinion, now is someone to bring on. Arsenal was good. And Monaco, they didn't really lay a glove on us, if I'm honest. I mean, they had an opportunity in the second half where they had probably 15, 20 minutes of play where I thought they were probably the better side. But they weren't really doing much. They didn't really test Raya. A lot of their chances were going wide. But yeah, we get the 3-0 win. And now we've basically got to win. We've got to beat Zagreb. We've got to win both of them, really. But we've got to beat Zagreb. And then I think something will have to go massively wrong against Girona away for us to drop out of the top 8 as long as we beat Zagreb at home, which I think we should do. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there, man. But Girona, I know. You never know.
Girona are shit, man, but they actually did all right against Liverpool the other night.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
You said earlier you were gonna ask me about Girona. Again, we were the earlier kickoff. I don't know if you two watched the game. I'll be so honest. I'll give credit where credit's due. They were defensively resolute, but we made it so much harder for ourselves. Honestly, we were missing chance after chance. Yeah. I think the players, for me, right, I didn't want Van Dijk, Salah, or Gravenberch to start. I think that's kind of the core of our team. And I think if any one of them were to get injured, we're in big trouble. But I don't mind them travelling or coming on to see out the game, but I didn't want them to start. But I actually feel the 11 we put out was very strong, and Slaughter's come out and said he doesn't want to rotate too much. He wants to keep that winning momentum.
I think he's spot on.
Which I understand. I get that, but I think the players went into that game thinking I think before that game we were through. Like we were guaranteed a playoff spot, but we weren't guaranteed the top 8 yet. But I think for them that was enough. They kind of went into it thinking pretty much through. Let's kind of not give it our all. And I think it was reflected in the first half. Girona were kind of coming on wave after wave, even though we had our chances. And then second half, I think we just thought, let's just win this game. Because after Salah's penalty, we had another free few to put away the game. But you could see there was a golfing quality. But for me, we just kind of took our foot off the gas. So I'm not going to lie, Poch. Girona you'd beat them. They're decent, but we couldn't have made that 2-3-0, in my opinion. Alisson, this is why I say the minute he's fit, he comes in because he made some good saves.
Nah, they had some big chances though, bro. That one that guy whipped across the box and he missed it from like a yard.
Missed it, yeah. Fair enough. And then they had another one from range where, again, if Keller was in goal, it's not a guarantee that we saved that, but there's a save Alisson made. And this is what I was saying to my fan base, LB. Keller is amazing, and I think we will get a nice amount for him. But for me, Alisson's the best keeper in the world. When you have the best keeper in the world available, you play him. You just play him, and he showed that. So, yeah, I think Girona, they played well, but I think a lot of it was us making it harder for ourselves. And Arsenal will deal with them, in my opinion.
You guys are chilling, man.
If you look at their team last year, a few of your players, Savio, Jan Kuto, Dovbyk, a lot of their star men that made their team are all gone. Now you're looking at players like Dan Juma, which for me, he didn't have the best of games. I think his end product was quite wasteful. They had a player called Espria, which was very good. He was giving us problems.
Espria, yeah. It was all right.
Is that his son? Is that the Newcastle... I think the Newcastle legend. Is that his son? I don't know if the chat knows.
No idea. It was all right. My chat was hyping him up a bit. I thought it was all right. I don't think he was... I thought some of his final balls and crosses and that was a bit poor. He did have one sick effort from the edge of the box, didn't he? Which I think
and you know what?
Just wide, or the keeper might have saved it.
I think that's the one Alisson might have saved. And there was also what was I going to say? There was a chance by what's his name? You know the striker that used to be at Middlesbrough, Stuani came on and gave Alisson a bit to do. I think the last 20 minutes. But other than that, we made it. We made that game tough for ourselves. But Potts, I think you'll beat them quite comfortably. I think
we need to, man. I think we need to win both because I look at the league table and this goal difference thing is mad. I think we need to comfortably beat Zagreb by 3 or 4 and then look at, potentially having a chat about what we can do then at the last game. Because I think when we get to that last game, then you'll start looking at the maths of it. I don't know what you boys think about this new format. I actually don't mind it. A lot of people were saying to me yesterday they don't like it. And
I like it, man. It's not good for us right now, but I like it, man. Those Champions League groups, man, were dead, man. It was so boring, bro. Like this is look at this now. We've got City versus PSG next game. It's like, yo, bro, one of us might actually legit go out. Yeah, you got Real Madrid who are struggling. Like, bro, like I think it's well better, and I think it gives. I think if you get knocked out in the league phase, it's literally your own fault because all you have to do to avoid elimination from the first phase is not finish in the bottom 10. So if you finish in the bottom 10 of the league, that means you're shit. If you then finish between 9th and 24, you then get another opportunity to qualify by playing in the playoff round. So if you don't qualify for the round of 16, you really just do not deserve to qualify. Whereas in the group stage, man, like you get like a Celtic or someone and they get Real Madrid, fucking Borussia Dortmund. It's like, bro, this is never going to get out of that group.
Yeah, exactly.
Never get out of that. Whereas like teams like Celtic now, they have literally a sick opportunity to get into the round of 16. So I think it's better. And I think actually, wouldn't surprise me if UEFA sit there in a year or two's time and go, damn, this is pretty bad because at some point you're going to get big teams going out in the league phase, and that's not good for them. They want to see the big teams.
But LB, you hit the nail on the head. I think it makes it really clear and obvious the bigger teams that just aren't playing well. Because I've said it. The only criticism I have of it, I think we said the start of when I think game week 1 or game week 2, and I'm not just saying this because my team are top of the table because I said this before ball had been kicked. I love this format. My only critique of it is it's gone to 8 games instead of 6. I think more games for the players. As fans, we love it. But I think that extra 2 games, I don't think it's that beneficial. But then to rebuttal that, if you play very well, like us, you can then rest your players for the last 2 games. Therefore, you still played kind of 6 games. So it's all about incentive. And like you said, LB, now we're in a situation where City have to win their last 2 games. PSG have to win their last 2 games. Like, it gives you that incentive. I love it, to be fair.
I think
No,
it's
like,
well
I,
good.
was, I was speaking to Robbie about it, and he don't like it because when we lost to Inter Milan, he's like, I want to get revenge and play them at the Emirates now and all that. I don't really care about that personally. I
Nah.
actually don't mind this format. I quite like it, and I think it gets you excited. And the difference I've got is last season when we were in it, I cared about 3 teams. That was all I give a damn about. The 3 teams in my group. Yeah. Now there's so many teams in it. You're like, oh, where are they
I
in the league?
agree.
Oh, right, hang on.
Oh, it's
You know what
better.
I mean?
It's better. And the thing is, as well, Texas Blue, bro, this is nothing like the Super League, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, it might be a league, but the Super League was a madness. Like if you could win the Premier League and you wouldn't go into the top level, you go into the 3rd choice, you go into the Conference League. So this is nothing like the Super League. Just because it's a league phase doesn't mean it's the same as the Super League. It's nothing to do with it. And to be honest with you, bro, I actually kind of like the Super League. I'll be real with you. It's just I do get the thing about like you could just be a random Donny team like Brentford, win the Premier, you won't go into the top level. I get it, but then you'd have to appreciate that it's a different style tournament. Let me do these super chats, man, before we wrap up. Big up you guys. Make sure you guys are smashing these likes as well. Player ratings coming up now as well, guys, on the 2nd channel, man, which will be fun. So I'm going to redirect you there to more LB player ratings from last night. Nadir, big up to you, bro. Says someone needs to get sacked if we lose on Sunday. I don't care. I might be extreme, but Pep in my head is the problem these last 4 games with his satanic lineups. He also says Pep game management, it reeks. Waiting to be 2-0 down every game to make subs, sticking with the same players, Gundogan and Walker, get me the kids. So then I don't care, says Nadir. Bro, I'm with. I don't know. I've said this for about 6 or 7 weeks. Why he's not giving some of these academy players a chance, for me, is absolutely baffling. You know what I mean? When you've got players that are continually letting you down game after game after game after game after game, it's crazy. It's crazy. Andy, yeah, bro, I can see it coming. 100% I can see it coming. And I'm not even against the Super League, to be honest with you. Big up Nadir, bro. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people questioning Pep. You're one of them. Big up to Eddie. Says Dortmund have not lost a game at home in the Champions League for 3 years until last night.
Whoa.
Barcelona have the moments played as well. Don't forget, Araujo and Christensen are yet to kick a ball this season and are our main centre backs. Barcelona are cooking, man. I can't lie. Under what's his name again?
Hansi Flick.
Flick.
Yeah, they're doing well, man. And like
The manager
Ron said
I wanted,
before,
man. I wanted that manager, man. I'll tell you.
Rafinha this year's moving mad as well, isn't it? So yeah, it'd be interesting to see them, especially against like a solid team in the round of 16. Let's get them up against like a Bayern or someone like that. Let's see what happens, man. But
Quick question, right? You see the top 8, like when is the actual last 16? Because I was looking through the calendar. There's 2 games in January. Normally the last 16 start in February, but now February is for the playoffs. So last 16 must be in March, I'm gonna assume. I think you'll have the both of the round of 16, both of the playoff games will probably be what, 1st week of or 2nd week of February, and then maybe you'll get 1 game at the last week of February or March. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, so that means the top 8 get a proper rest. That the next time we play European, you'll get a rest. March, and we're gonna have, well, providing we actually qualify, because I don't even know if we are at this point. But if we do qualify, we're gonna have an extra 2 games in January, and I think they could be against decent teams as well, which is a bit of a madness. Right, so there you go. All right, and big up to you boys. Yeah, Dan Chelsea couldn't make it, guys. He's not available today, mate. Yeah, Chelsea are playing at 3:30. He said he's not going to be able to watch it anyway. But big up Potsy, as always, for coming on, man, from Football 12 Man podcast. Make sure you go check it out. Big up to Roms every time as well. And big up you guys in the chat as well, man. Make sure you guys are smashing the likes. I'm going to send you over to the 2nd channel, More LB. We're going to do the player ratings for last night, because I didn't do them last night, man. So yeah, man, come and join me on that one. It's going to be a madness. But yeah, peace out. Big up Potsy, big up Roms. I'll see you in the next one. See you later.